Beautiful rendition of the Dutch national anthem to get things underway at Heerenveen. A new year dawns in speed skating, and what better way to salute 2025 than in the spiritual home for the sport, the great Tialf, Heerenveen, the Netherlands, the site of so many great moments, now plays host once again to the best skaters in Europe with the ISU Speed Skating European Championships. Hi everybody, Gavin Day here. Happy New Year to those watching wherever you may be around the world. Quite the opening ceremony as the skaters get ready for the first day of 3 days of action from Heerenveen. There is the European Sprint Championships and the European All-Round Championships. Today it's all about the sprinters. You caught a glimpse of the schedule there at the beginning. Straightforward enough. A 500-meter sprint, a 1,000-meter sprint for men, and for women it's the first of two. For those of you who don't know how a sprint tournament may work, they do 2 500s and 2 1000s on consecutive days, all going with the lowest point total wins the tournament, in this case the European Championship. Excited to get going. You see a look at the conditions inside the great venue of Tialf, training home for so many skaters, not just from the Netherlands, but from around the world as well. Expecting a great atmosphere. The venue always on point for events such as this one. We'll be kicking things off in just a few moments with the women's 500-meter sprints and then the men's 500s. There are 18 women's skaters, so 9 pairs in all. A look at that fabled ice. Some famous names around as well, and certainly fans from all over Europe. You saw in the footage there coming in, Dutch fans, of course, all clad in orange. You saw some Norwegian fans as well. They'll be eyeing maybe more the all-round portion of the competition as they, someone other than the Dutch, look forward to winning maybe an all-round European Championship. There's Femke Kok, back racing after missing a good chunk of the season due to a virus. So she's short on race action, and she'll be looking, I'm sure, to make up for lost time. I believe that was Vanessa Herzog of Austria, one-time winner of this. It looks like we already do actually have a scratch in the first heat. And so there's been a readjustment of the pairs now. And so it is Karina Jagduyen of Norway who will be going by herself as an individual pair. All the rest here to have 2 skaters. And there she is, the 26-year-old industrial design student at the University in Trondheim, which is where she lives. Last year, of course, was a single-distance event at the European Championship. She was a member of the Norwegian team that won bronze in the team sprint. She was 13th last year in the 500 in the European Championships. Put up a new personal best in the 500 meters on January the 5th earlier this year. That was at the Norwegian Sprint Championships. Actually, the Norwegian Sprint Championships were in December. Here we go, in Heerenveen. And cleanly away, Jagduyen, second at the Norwegian Sprint Championships back in December. She will set the first 100-meter time 11 seconds flat. Of course, at sea level, the ice in Heerenveen not known for being one of the fastest. So we'll see how that 11 seconds stands up. And the great thing about the Dutch fans cheering for every skater, regardless of where they are from. Jagduyen will set the time to beat. She is just a hair over 50 kilometers an hour, and she goes to the line. And let's see what time she sets. 39.66. Lap time 28.66. And so for those of you wondering how the scoring goes, the points are assigned based on time. So the time she just put up in that 500 meters will be the amount of points that she gets, and then when it comes to the thousands, they take the time, divide it by 2, and establish sort of that baseline 500-meter time and add that to the total. So, Yagtuyen goes through. And the second heat, Marlon Esselens of Germany and Isabel van Elst of Belgium.
Go to the start. Ready.
In the case of Esselens, the 21-year-old, she's skating mostly at the neo-seniors level this season. She does have some medals there. She has a gold medal in the 1500, so maybe the 500 not to her forte. It is Isabel van Elst clocking an 11:04. The Dutch-born skater from Belgium. Isabel van Elst, born in Bennebroek. Also has an art history degree from the University of Amsterdam. And it is Isabel van Elst with the faster speed carrying around the corner. Looks like she will take the pair. As I mentioned, Esselens maybe more of the 1,000-meter might be to her wheelhouse. And Van Elst goes 39 even. Knocking out almost 7/10 of a second from Yagtuyen's time. And so, new skater atop the leaderboard for the moment. But these pairs we will be ticking through very, very quickly. And we jump right into the third pair. And it's Iga Wojtaszek of Poland. And Georgia Aiello of Italy. There is Wojtaszek, 4 years old. Aiello making regular trips to the podium at the Neo Seniors level this season. Just turned 20 years old early last month.
Ready.
And there is our first false start of the day. Always interesting to see where the flag will wave. They did show Wojtaszek there. A couple of the Polish fans there.
False start in a lane.
There you go.
Go to the
Wojtaszek
start.
charged with that false start now, living dangerously.
Ready.
Wojtaszek turns 25 this year. She's from a little city called Elblag in the north of Poland, which is right near Gdansk, which has been hosting plenty of international speed skating competitions, lately short track in particular. Wojtaszek, 10.92, fastest opening 100 meters. How can she carry that speed all the way through? Gets into the outer lane. Aiello, see what type of distance she can close up using that inner lane. She's not going to get too close. It is going to be Wojtaszek, I believe, taking the pair. We'll see if she can move atop the leaderboard. Not quite. 39.15 for her. 39.48 for Aiello. And we actually have a couple of personal bests already today. Aiello with the 39.48. That was better than her 39.59. And Marlon Esselens went in under 40 seconds for the first time in her career. So particularly these young skaters getting this international experience, the European Championships, chance to knock some tenths of a second out of their personal best. Friend Van Hout of Belgium, rather, next on the inner lane. And Leah Sophie Scholz 25-year-old from Germany. Member of the German team sprint European silver medal team from this event last year.
Ready.
This one cleanly away. Van Hout, like a lot of skaters these days, also skates in inline. She's the European 1,000-meter champion in inline, and she has the fastest time through 100 meters, 10.80. Scholes with a 10.98. And so we will see if Van Hout can keep that fast start. She only made the jump over to the ice in 2018, 2019, and then went to the 2020 Youth Olympics. So Fran Van Hout perhaps eyeing the top of the leaderboard, but Scholes really closing up here down the stretch. I think it is still going to be Van Hout taking it, and neither of them can move atop the leaderboard. 39.14 for Van Hout, 39.22, so very even pair. Just a matter of a few hundredths of a second between them, but still in first, Isabel van Elst from Belgium. Her 39 flat holding up so far, but of course some big names still to come down near the bottom. I'm looking at Leerdam, I'm looking at Susanne Schulting, I'm looking at Vanessa Herzog. They all skate right near the end, so we'll see how long they hold up. Speaking of Leerdam, there she is, getting ready, getting warmed up. Next pair, you see Julie Nistad Samsonsen, the Norwegian sprint champion. That event held not too long ago. And Luisa Maria Gonzalez, the Colombian-born skater from Spain.
Ready.
Not quite still at the line.
Ready. False start, outer lane, removing.
And there is the false start to Gonzalez. There's a little bit of a move there.
Ready.
Now Gonzalez, born in Colombia, as I mentioned, moved to Barcelona at the age of 7. That's where she still lives, and of course also does inline. Very fast opening for Samsonsen. Mentioning her, the Norwegian sprint champion. Oh, and there's a crash, and it is Gonzalez down. Hope she's okay. Looked a little slow to get up. She's shaken. She went at high speed around that corner. Samsonsen getting through just fine. And we'll see, she was in the green through 100 meters, bringing this one home. The Norwegian sprint champion, can she go atop the leaderboard? No. Just behind by 0.03 of a second. .39.03. We'll see what happened around the corner here. Not sure if she got a toe stuck in there. Hit the boards hard. Obviously hope. We'll see if she can get around just fine. But Samsonsen takes the pair, moves to second, at least provisionally. Nice ovation from the Dutch supporters for both those skaters. And she was in the outer lane, so I'm not sure what they'll determine for her. It's not like she went out of her lane as she crashed, but Gonzalez with the hood down will go across the line and now skate for pride more than anything. We'll see her teammate Neil Yope in the men's sprint portion. Always like to see those countries that might not often see internationally starting to put together programs on the inner lane. Heat their pair number 6, Serena Perger. Born Born in Trento, 2023 World Junior 500 meter champion is Perger. And at first look at one of these Polish skaters, Karolina Bosiek. Silver at the World Sprints in Hamar in 2022. Certainly one to watch for to maybe move atop the leaderboard.
Ready.
I think that's more on the fans. Might be a false start credited to the fans. Not sure they'll give that to a skater.
False start. Out lane.
Oh, there you go.
Too slow.
Going down too slowly.
To the start.
I like the explanation. Lets us know what exactly they did wrong.
Ready.
So Perger, she was 11th in the European Sprint Championships in 2023. Of course, it's alternating single distances and sprints and all rounds. And this year we have a sprints and all rounds, and both of them in the green. Bosiek 10.73. We've seen a few skaters in the green through 100 meters, not able to maintain it. A little bit of a wobble there, maybe from Perger. Bosiek has the advantage of the inner lane. And the Polish female sprinters certainly do bring some potency to them, and Bosiek will show that in spades. 38.39 by more than 0.6 of a second. 27.66 the lap time. Perger also ahead of our previous fastest time, 38.82, so by almost 0.2 of a second. And they go 1 and 2 right now. Even with a stumble off the line, Perger, fortunately, wasn't fully up to speed yet. Imagine a few strides in, that would have killed a lot more speed. So for her, a little stumble, but recovering quite quickly. But Bosiek now top the leaderboard. And Kaya Ziomek-Nogal, another one of the Polish skaters. Great story with her. Gold in Beijing in one of the 500 meters there. And returning to action, a warm ovation for Femke Kok.
Go to the start. Ready.
Another false start.
Ready. False start. Outer lane. Crossing the line. Go to the start.
Crossing the line. She nodded her head there oh so briefly, did Kok. Wondering if that was... Yeah, my bad.
Ready.
For Kaya Ziomek-Nogal, I mentioned gold in an earlier World Cup this season. She was third in the World Cup classification in 500 in 2021 after the Beijing Olympics. Her and her husband, Artur Nogal, former Polish skater himself, had a child. They had a daughter in 2023, and she is back skating at the very best. Ziomek-Nogal from Lubin in Poland, but Femke Kok right now trying to hold the speed around the corner. Kok did win one of the 500 meters at the Dutch Sprint Championships. Pulled herself out of the second, and look at that, 1 and 2. Femke Kok, welcome back, 37.57. Ziomek-Nogal with a 37.92. And so Kok looking very, very good. We'll see how that time holds up. So now, even with just trying to hold on to the speed there. He moves to the top of the leaderboard. And it is Vanessa Herzog of Austria. Bronze in the European Sprints 2 years ago. Multiple-time World Championship medalist. World champion in 2019 in the 500 meters. Still looking to recover some of that form. Here's Vanessa Herzog.
Ready.
And on the other, Sofia Thorup Prosvernova. Of course, she joined the Dutch program not too long ago, Dutch-Danish program not too long ago. Not the quickest of openings from either of them. A couple of tenths of a second off the fastest opening, but we do know Herzog also is a very good 1,000-meter skater, so we'll see if she starts skating into this one, goes along. She dug a bit of a hole, just over 0.3 of a second through the first 100 meters. It is Herzog leading the pair right now, and she will take it. She will go fourth, 38.55. Prosvernova, 38.77. And just checking how Cox's time stands up, a 37.58. It's off her personal best, off the time that she set at the Dutch Sprint Championships, 37.39. And so Herzog and Thorup Prosvernova, the Austrian and the Danish skater, go fourth and fifth. And here is Suzanne Schulting. Picking up her first World Cup medal right before the holiday break. And the defending European sprint champion, Jutta Leerdam.
Go to the start. Ready.
These skaters were 1 and 2 at the Dutch Sprint Championships. Of course, the 1,000 meters more to Leerdam's advantage. She takes just these long, gliding strides. Really takes a bit to get up to speed. Both of them just a few hundredths of a second apart from each other. It's Schulting. Might we see her back with her short track mates coming up next month when short track resumes also in the Netherlands? Trading the Dutch kit for the Dutch Lions kit, perhaps. Anyway, they are side by side down to the line. Who is going to take this pair? It is Leerdam by 0.05 of a second. They go second and third. And so it is Dutch sweep of the first 500 meters. It's Femke Kok, Jutta Leerdam, and Suzanne Schulting. 1 and 2 and 3. Not a bad way to start for the hosts. Of course, they'll be back in just a little bit for the 1,000 meters as well. There's a look at the photo of the previous race, Herzog and Thorup Prosvernova. Big roar for Femke Kok top the leaderboard, but watch out for her when the thousands come out in just a little bit. Just like that, we are through 500 meter number 1 for the women. And just take a quick pause. Enjoy the sights here. Just getting set up. Don't think there's an ice flood, but we'll see you in a few minutes for the men's 500 meters. But yeah, there you go. Confirmation of the results. Dutch 1, 2, and 3. 4 and 5 for Poland. 6. Austrian 7th from Denmark. All the way down through the top 10. Kok, Leerdam, and Schulting, 1 through 3.
So you guys, we will hear a whistle from the starter and get ready for the men 500 meters. All right, 10 pairs of the men's 500 meter coming up. That's low flying with speeds up to 60 kilometers per hour. Here we go with pair number 1.
All right, a look at the starting pairs for the men's 500 meters. No solo pairs all going to plan here. 10 of them, 20 skaters, of course. Names to watch: Jenning de Bo, Moran Saperkamp, another one. Martin Leave, perhaps the Estonian, who lives in Heerenveen, could be one to watch as well. And in the first pair, it's Francesco Betti of Italy and Robert Balin of Belgium.
Ready.
Francesco Betti is an interesting one. He has done 500 meters or 5,000 meters as well. He was an alternate for the Italian team in Beijing. If you ever watch short track, you'll recognize the Betti name. He is the older brother of Chiara Betti, who skates for the Italian Gladiators on the ISU Short Track World Tour. It is Balin of Belgium coming around. The 21-year-old made his senior debut last season, and he will set the fastest times, 35.99, with a 36.38 for Betti. And so, an early time to beat. You see the smiles, and you always wonder, has he gone faster than he ever has before? And the answer is yes. Balin was 36.1 before today, and so he just knocked 11 hundredths of a second off his personal best. So, reason to smile for the young man from Belgium. Certainly a lot of experience here in David Bosa. I'll always watch. He keeps the sunglasses on his head up until the final moment. It's unique. I don't see it in other skaters. They have their sunglasses locked in. And you have a look. See, Moritz Klein of Germany already locked and loaded. And Bosa.
Ready.
Bosa, perhaps looking more towards the 1,000 where he will make his move in this event. Picked up a bronze last season in 1,000 meters in Salt Lake City and had a bronze the year before. He was 8th overall in the 1,000-meter standings. But through the first 100 meters of this 500-meter race, Bosa with the fastest opening. He will go into the outer lane, that instantly recognizable deep Azzurri kit with the Italian flag on the shoulder. And Bosa, I think, will provisionally set the time to beat by almost 9/10 of a second. 35.10. 35.61 for Moritz Klein. So not quite personal best for either of those skaters, but doesn't matter to them. They go 1 and 2 for the moment. Just looking down, Martin Leave goes in the 9th pair. Damian Zurek of Poland also in that 9th pair. The all-Dutch pair, Marin Saperkamp and Jenning de Boer, will certainly be interesting. Right now, it is Bosa. Next pair on the inner lane is Ignaz Schwentner of Austria. There's a look at him right there. And the other is Tuukka Suomalainen
Go to the start.
of Finland. 2020 Youth Olympian. Hey, look, there's some Finnish support there tonight.
Ready.
Finland has turned out some sprinters in the past. Suomalainen turned 22 back in October. And both of them in the red, a little bit off the pace, but Schwentner just by 100th of a second. Look at that, gritting his teeth into the outer lane, scrapping for every inch on that ice. Suomalainen on the inner lane, though. He has pulled this one back. Is it going to be Suomalainen taking the pair? It looks like it will be. And what will his time be? 35.76. Good enough for third. 35.95 for Ignaz Schwentner. And that's a new personal best for Suomalainen. 35.76 was his before, 36.01 was his before. and that was set in Inzel back in March of last year, so knocking out about a quarter of a second. And the first of two Estonians on the ice, Jonas Valge. And he's up against Matthias Voste, Belgian skater.
Go to the start.
Occasionally has dabbled in the mass start, the 30-year-old Voste.
Ready.
Voste, largely a skater on World Cup who's in the B division, so we don't often really get to see him. Same goes for Jonas Valge, who has dabbled a bit this season at World Cup. Also more recently at the Neo Senior level. 9.98, under 10 seconds goes Voste, but Valge rather, but Voste has the inside line and he will drive into the lead inside the final few meters. It will be Matthias Voste taking the pair, and he will go second fastest, a quarter of a second off the pace. 35.36. Valge got a second and a quarter adrift. 36.36 for him, and pointed at something. Not sure what that would seem to indicate, but a good skate for Voste to get up into second. Bosa the lead still with a 35.10. But could we see that fall now? Next heat has Hendrik Dombeck of Germany in the first look of the men's Polish skaters. Piotr Michalski.
Go to the start. Ready.
Michalski. Leading and in the green to the opening 500 meters. He's a skater we see sort of drifting up and down between the A and B divisions on World Cup. He gets a nice draft down the backstretch before tucking into the lane. Looks like he's just easing past into the lead. Of course, it's easier said than done, but it is going to be Michalski. Does he go top? Yes, he does. 34.80. 35 for Dombeck. Both of them in the green, going 1 and 2. And so the two new times to beat. Bosa drifting into third. Sixth pair is an all-Norwegian affair. Bjorn Magnussen on the inner lane. Henrik Fagerli Ruka on the outer. Of course, the Norwegian sprint program doesn't get as much attention as the distance skaters.
Go to the start.
They have had a lot of international success.
Ready.
Sprinters back in something of a rebuild mode. Tove Lorentzen retiring after last season, as did Sverre Lund Pedersen. But let's see what these two can do. Both of them in the green. 9.73 for Magnussen, 9.77 for Ruka. Just a couple of hundredths of a second in it. They are just about neck and neck coming out of the turn. There's a tiny bit of a gap. And it will be Magnuson, 34.82. Oh, by 0.02 of a second into second place. Ruka, 35.15, going to fifth. So we are seeing some morning glories out there, starting quickly, but then just not able to see this one over to the line. We saw it in the women's as well. A lot of skaters starting in the green, but just not able to finish it off. There is another Norwegian skater coming up. Those are the remaining pairs. Paul Myron Christensen and Neil Yope.
Go to the start. Ready.
Christensen was fifth at the Norwegian Sprint Championships. That was earlier this month. Oh, pardon me, I'm looking at last season. Anyway, it is Christensen and Neil Yope. Just a couple of hundredths of a second between them. Christensen, who was silver at the Norwegian Sprint Championships. That's got the right year now. There we have it. And he goes to fifth right now, 35.10, 35.18 for Yope. And just a tenth of a second separating them on that lap. Very even pair. Just a tiny amount of time between them. Pair number 8. And this one is the one that will have the home fans buzzing. There you go. Double orange. They're in Saperkamp. 4 years old against Yenning de Beau, the supremely talented 20-year-old from Groningen.
Go to the start. Ready.
So much in this pair. Saperkamp is the defending European men's sprint champion, but at the end of December he came second behind the man he's up against here, Yenning de Beau. And so head-to-head in the first race of 4, and both of them in the green through the first 100 meters. They're eyeing the top of the leaderboard. Nikowski sits there now, and it is Yenning de Beau leading the way to the line. Yenning de Beau goes fastest, 34.67. Saperkamp with a 34.60. 1 and 2. Looking to match their female counterparts. They went 1, 2, 3. Bit of a pickup there, even on the crossover. I wonder how much time that ultimately cost him in the end. They go 1 and 2 with 2 pairs still to go. Yenning de Beau, Maren Saperkamp right now. 2 guys who might change things here. Damian Zurek. Supremely powerful man. And Martin Leave. Olympian. Silver
Go to the start.
in the 500 meters at last year's single distances European Championships. Bronze in the European sprints 2 years ago.
Ready.
For Liev, very much home ice for him. This is where he lives and trains. It is Zudek by just a matter of 0.03 of a second. But he does carry a lot of top-end speed. Damian Zudek. Carrying his speed round the outside. Liev trying to close it up a little bit. It is currently Yenning DeBow with a 34.47. Where will Zurich go? He will go to third with a 34.65. He likes that one. And a 34.87 for Liev. That puts him into 6th place. And so Damian Zudek liking what he saw there. He was bronze at last year's World Championships in the 500 meters behind Laurent Dupré and a guy named Stolz. One more pair to go. Kim Prince and Marek Kania.
Go to the start. Ready.
Kania, a regular top 10 finisher on World Cup. Finished in 3rd at last year's European Single Distance Championships on this very ice. Look at that, 0.02 of a second between them. Not the fastest of openings, but they're inside 0.2 of a second of the fastest time. Just a sign of just how close 500 meters can get. Can it be another Dutch 1, 2, and 3 sweep matching the women's side? Does not look like that will be the case. It is going to be the pair won by Kania. But he can only go 7th, 34.90, 35.04 for Prince. And so that wraps up the men's 500 meters number 1. They will finish tomorrow. And so just like that, Yenning DeBow, Marijn Saperkamp, 1 and 2. And who's breaking up the Dutch sweep? It's Damian Zudek in 3rd place from Poland. Both of them started behind the 8 ball right away and not able to close on their full lap. And so they go 7th and 9th. And there you have it. Yenning DeBow, Marijn Saperkamp, 1 and 2. Zurich rounds out the top 3. So it's Dutch 1, 2, Polish 3, 4, and Bjorn Magnussen of Norway slots to 5th place. And so you might see the ice resurfacers out there, as you see all the way down to the top 20. Things will resume with the women's 1,000 meters in about 22-ish minutes time. So enjoy the sights from around the oval. I'll take a quick pause. Back with you for the women's 1,000 meters in just a little bit.
maar eens even bij. Ja, de Westtribune heeft dat al begrepen. Hier in de spektraalhof moeten mensen nog een klein beetje wakker worden, maar dat komt wel goed. Pak de land. Ja, daar is het mooi. Oh, kijk eens, daar gaan we in snel. Nee, helemaal hoog. Dat is wel even wat. Westtribune, ik zie nog een paar zwarte gaan. So ladies and gentlemen, clean out yourself for a good line, clean out yourself, please. Ik wil een beetje juist in de Engelse hoor. Spektraalhof ook goed, hè? Ja, dat is ook goed. Dat gaan we even vanzelf doen, hè? Middendags in de dag is natuurlijk de power van Nederland schaatsen, waar we ook al aan zeggen. Het is een moment van het schaatsen. Natuurlijk ook die kennen van Marken, China, Zuid-Afrika, deze dingen en wat meer. Ze hebben nog niet graag een beetje van de vinger in staan. We gaan het zo van Nederland. Als je zo maar een beetje de zwaar in de baan van die koers van, geef je nog een klein beetje de vrijheid. Een klein beetje van mijn hart.
This. Good. Go. Good armor.
Women's 1,000 meters number 1 coming up in just a few minutes. If you missed that 500 meters or need a reminder, there's a look at how things finished after the 500. And so their times make their points. And so how it works in the 1,000 meters, you take the time, you divide it by 2, and that's the points you get for your sprint total. And then we do it all again tomorrow. And just looking ahead here, there are the start lists, or the pairs rather. Iga Wojtaszek will go by herself, and I'm seeing, it looks like in the third pair, Luisa Maria Gonzalez of Spain has withdrawn. That's just what's on my, she's still on your screen, she's not on my board here, so we'll see what happens. All the way down, Femke Kok in the last pair is our leader. He still has a bit of time to go though. That will be Iga Wojtaszek, the 24-year-old. As a silver medal from the European Championships in the team sprint last year.
Go to the start. Ready.
Wojtaszek. Last season on World Cup, she finished 33rd overall. The last 2 seasons, rather. She has finished, ironically enough, 33rd in the 1,000 meters in both of the last 2 seasons. Anyway, 2 laps to go. 1,000 meters, such a challenge. That sprint endurance, you can't quite go all out. You can try. But if you have a bad lap and you hear that bell, it's one of the most agonizing sounds in the world. If you make the call to the control room and there just isn't the energy left in the legs. And so it's a very long, drawn-out sprint. And so with a lap to go, she's at 46.82. 28.47 is her lap time. Wojtaszek from Elblag, which is in the north of Poland, just east, I mentioned it earlier, of Gdansk, which often is hosting a lot of short track international events these days. The pain really setting in now. She'll get a chance to rest and recuperate for getting to do this all over again tomorrow. Wojtaszek, 1:19.02. And so there's her classification. Her total after a 500 and 1,000 was on the right of your screen. Bottom right. So these, you can calculate them very quickly. Obviously by just dividing by 2 and adding to the 500 meter time. And bing bang boom, you have your point total. Second pair, Frina Jagtuyen of Norway and Georgia Aiello.
Go to the start. Ready.
And there's a false start there. And, ooh, both flags.
Ready.
Jagtuyen moving.
False start, outer lane, going down too slow.
Ah, there you go.
Go to the start. Ready.
After the 500 meters, Aiello was 14th, Jagtuyen in 15th. Just under 0.2 of a second separating them. Aiello did put up a personal best time in that 500 meters. Aiello just turned 20 years old, so skating more internationally at the Neo Seniors level. That's part of the Junior World Cups. Aiello, a member of the Italian Team Sprint Bronze at last year's, or at the 2023 World Junior Championships. So one to watch, perhaps, as she's winning a good amount of medals in several distances at the Neo Seniors level. As we count down now, just over a year until 2026 Milan Cortina. And it's Aiello leading, 28.5, the lap time 47.03. Jagtuyen over 0.6 of a second back. You just see the pain, the gritting of the teeth. Aiello trying to bring it around. Her personal best in the 1,000 meters is a 1:19.62. We'll see if she can match that. It is going to be Aiello taking the pair. And a 1:18.08 by almost a second. She goes fastest. And look at that. The surprise on her face, 1:18.08. That knocked out 1.6, almost 1.6 seconds from her personal best. Georgia Aiello. Maybe bookmark that name. Of course, the Italians, you love the reaction, don't you? Yeah, believe it. She still can't. That grin won't be coming off until she gets back out on the ice tomorrow. And confirmation, Luisa Maria Gonzalez has withdrawn. It is Fran Van Houten who will be doing this all on her lonesome.
Ready.
Van Houten, just over a year removed from her international senior level debut. She made it in December of 2023 at the Tomaszów Mazowiecki World Cup stop in Poland. 0.3 of a second off the pace. As we know, that is by Georgia Aiello. So the times you're seeing are just for the 1,000. They will calculate and add to the overall sprint standings. So this is just comparing her in the 1,000 meter distance. We'll see how it compares in the points at the end of the race. 1 lap to go for Fran van Houten, the European 1,000-meter inline champion. The 21-year-old competed in the 2020 Winter Youth Olympics in speed skating. So these skaters that we don't often get to see at the A-level competitions on World Cup getting their time in the limelight. As this Belgian program, already with the likes of Bart Swings in mass start, builds in other distances, and Van Houten 1:19.28. And so there you see in the overall 78.78, she's sitting in at third right now. So a little bit of a contrast to Aiello's reaction, who really could not believe what she had done.
Pair number 4 in the inner lane, representing Italy, the number 8 of the 500 meters in 38.82 is Serena.
So it's another Italian skater, Serena Perger. And it is the Norwegian sprint champion. You see the time she needs to beat 1:18.97.
To the start.
So Perger and Samsonson.
Ready.
Samsonson was 10th after the 500. Perger was 8th. Exactly 0.2 of a second separating them. So Perger, she turns 21 next month. 9th in the European single distances last year in the 500 meters. So 2023 World Junior 500 champ. Both of them in the green through 200 meters. The big question is, you can start quickly, but the 1,000 meters, once you feel it, once you feel you've gone out too hard, there's just nothing left in the tank. But Samsonson putting up a pretty good result right now. Almost 0.3 of a second ahead. But if you feel it, all power, all speed gets sapped out of the legs. Looking relatively composed, not looking too agonized just yet. She did a 1:24.9 at the Norwegian Sprint Championships. She does far better than that. 1:17.90, so she did lose quite a bit of time. But she does go fastest. She does go to the top of the leaderboard overall. Perger goes to second in the overall sprint leaderboard. So Samsonson goes to first overall. So Perger had the 4th fastest 1,000-meter time, but it was enough to move her into second place right now. Isabel Van Elst on the inner lane. And Kaya Ziomek-Nogal.
Go to the start. Ready.
Ziomek-Nogal, the 2-time Olympian. We'll see. We know her prowess in the 500 meters. It was already on display, but some sprinters are just thoroughbred sprinters. They go fast and can't maintain it for very long, but Ziomek-Nogal putting 0.6 of a second into the bank. Van Elst a little bit off the pace. It's going to be an interesting crossover here. They're almost side by side, and they just about got it through. Van Els had to stand up a little bit. Ziomek Nogal, faster of the two right now. The one from Lubin in Poland has almost 9/10 of a second. We have seen some skaters losing big chunks of time on the last lap. How labored is Ziomek Nogal? That one arm hanging off the back. Fatigue surely setting in by now. Van Elst, the faster of the two. Oh, it's pain. It's agony for Ziomek Nogal. She's just trying to stay on her skates. Here comes Isabel Van Elst to take the pair and go fastest. 1:16.43, 1:16.71. It's a smile now from Ziomek Nogal, but that hurt. And so she hangs on. They go 1 and 2 atop the overall leaderboard right now. A little bit of a hiccup there, but everybody gets through unscathed. And a good fight back from Isabel Van Elst. Next pair. An all-German battle, and Van Elst likes that one. It's always helpful when you think, was that a fast time, or should we think that was a good race, and the racer lets us know themselves. Well, and Ellison's
Go to the start.
on the inner lane. And Leia Sophie Scholes.
Ready.
Scholes, 13th after the 500 meters. Ellison's was 16th, and so they need some pretty big times to move atop the leaderboard. If you saw that graphic, nowhere near their personal bests. Also, they would have to be some of the fastest times ever skated, close to track records, in order to move atop the leaderboard. Up the inner lane, it is Scholes out in front. She'll get the bell first. 46.79, 47.57 for Estlunds. And we shall see how they hold their speed. This is where the big time gaps happen. Scholes from Berlin was 37th in the 1,000-meter World Cup classification last season. She is leading her teammate around right now. Leia Sophie Scholes will clock 1:17.16, 1:18.20. So they move into 3rd and 9th, respectively. And there, you might have heard that PA announcer. New personal best for, I think that's Esselund's. It is. It was 1:18.94. Now it's 1:18.20. So knocking, hey, that's 3/4 of a second for her. And big one coming up. Herzog, Leerdam.
Go to the start. Ready.
And there we go. Last year at single distances at the European Championships, Herzog did pick up a bronze medal in both the 500 and the 1,000 meters. Leerdam buoyed on by this home crowd that will carry her all the way around. We all know about the battles of Takagi and Leerdam. Those epic struggles on World Cup. It is Leerdam out in front by over a half a second. Not the fastest times we've seen so far, but faster than our overall leader. And again, bit of a tricky crossover. But everybody is through on their skates. It is Leerdam leading things around at the bell, the faster of the two at the moment. She is almost 2 seconds in the clear. Herzog also in the green, third fastest through 600 meters. And this is where those long strides just come into play for Jutta Leerdam, eyeing the top of the leaderboard. The European Sprint Championships, maybe a bit of a wobble there. This is where it is really, really hurting. Leerdam will take it all the way and go 1:14.21 by over 2 seconds. Herzog, a 1:17.62. Fifth fastest 1,000-meter time, and so they will be first and fourth for the moment, with 2 more pairs to go. So this was the early crossover. Ended up being pretty smooth in the end. Two to go. More. The Dutch skater coming up. Of course, the Dutch 1 through 3 after 500 meters. Karolina Bosiek of Poland and Suzanne Schulting.
Go to the start. Ready.
So another great tilt. Bosiek, world sprint silver medalist in 2022, two-time Olympian, and a woman who has an extensive resume in short track. Suzanne Schulting now testing things out here on the oval. Schulting, of course, fractured her ankle at the World Championships in short track last season in Rotterdam, and that sort of delayed her return to short track, where she couldn't quite handle the tight turning that we see in short track. But that, of course, has led to her finding some success here on the oval, picking up her first World Cup long track medal before the Christmas break, and a 45.26. Schulting second and fourth right now, just showing how fast Jutta Leerdam was. That woman absolutely threw down. It is Schulting in front right now. The pain starting to set in. And Bosiek, the 24-year-old from Tomaszów Mazowiecki. One of the big indoor ovals that we see often, but it's Schulting. 1:15.40, almost 1.2 seconds adrift. And so Leerdam putting a good advantage into the bank over some of her closest rivals. Bosiek, a 1:16.10. Second and third in the distance right now. But the 1,000 meters really where Jutta Leerdam makes the difference. But if there is a woman who can jump one above, she is in the next pair. Femke Koch did not look rusty in the 500 meters. See how she does in the 1,000. 1:14.58 is what is needed to take the lead. That would be second fastest time in the 1,000. And Sofia Thorpe Prosvernova.
Go
Former short
to the
tracker
start.
as well. The Danish skater.
Ready.
Prosvernova was approved to skate for Denmark in the summer of 2023. We often see, or we have seen her husband Victor on the ice coaching her. We saw that last year at the season ender. But Femke Kok opening 200 meters, 12 hundredths of a second ahead of the time set by Leerdam. It's looking like these two women will be going toe-to-toe in the last two races tomorrow. If there is a time for Femke Kok to feel a bit rusty, it is right about now. Has not had a lot of race action. We don't know where she is building for this event. Of course, everybody could be in different training programs. And there she's a little bit adrift, almost half a second. She will maybe get a bit of a draft down the backstretch. We'll see if that helps her. Femke Kok. She won the first 500 meters at the Dutch Sprint Championship, skipped the second one. So there she is in the 1,000, and she'll go 1:14.97. So 3/4 of a second off the pace. Not fast enough to move her atop the leaderboard, though, but she is in second right now. Might have just heard the PA announcer. It's season's best for her. Of course, she doesn't have a ton of race action. She missed all the fall, the 2024 World Cup races. And the leader and defending champion, Jutta Leerdam. Will hold the lead after day one of the 2025 ISU European Sprint Speed Skating Championships. Still Dutch 1 through 3 after day one. Indeed it is. It's Leerdam, Kok, and Schulting. And there it is after the 1,000 as well. So that's how they finished in the 1,000, and that's where they stand in the overall standings. At least 1 through 3. Bosiek was in 4th. She is in 5th overall. And a good result for Sofia Thorpe Prosvernova. The Danish skater now jumping into 6th overall after that 5th placed 1,000-meter performance. Georgia Aiello down there in 11th, knocking a big chunk of time out of her personal best. She is up to 12th in the overall standings. We'll see what she can do tomorrow. And the lights go down. You might hear Clench of Pills play. That's the brass band who will be playing. Bit of a fixture in international speed skating, particularly in Europe. Enjoy their music. The lights go down. The ice resurfacing is out. Looks like we'll be back in about 25 minutes.
Het is money, money, money wat er allemaal vandaag te halen valt hier zo met de staatsloterij. Dus ik zou zeggen, scan die QR-code en doe mee die knopper scannen. En hou je telefoon open. Hou je telefoon open op het scherm waarmee je dit ding doet. Want zo meteen gaan we met elkaar allemaal de telefoons in de lucht doen. Die gaan we allemaal opknippen. En de winnende telefoons, die krijgen we ook. Ik zie daar waanzinnige kampioenen klaarstaan, dames en heren. Wij gaan over naar de huldiging.
Flower ceremony, ISU European Speed Skating Championship Sprint, first 500 meters women. In third place, with a time of 37.82, representing the Netherlands, Susanne Schulting. The flowers will be presented by Mr. Herman de Haan, the president of the Dutch National Skating Union. In second place, with a time of 37.77, also representing the Netherlands, Jutta Leerdam. And in first place and winner of this first 500 meters with a time of 37.58, representing the Netherlands, Femke Kok. And give them one more big applause to our top three of this first 500 meter of the ISU European Speed Skating Championship Sprint Women. Susanne Schulting, Jutta Leerdam en Femke Kok.
Want zij is alles, 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 alles in één. Ze komt van top tot teen. Schatje, wat doe je met me? Doe je met me? Ja, zij is alles, 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 alles.
Dat heb ik ook gezien. Maar dan pak je hem wel weer op en dan zet je hem hartstikke goed door. Dan moet je vervolgens ook nog naar 1000 meter. Hoe doe je dat? Hoe zet je die knop dan om dat je toch behaalt? Toch weer goed rijden.
Nou ja, het is natuurlijk een toernooi. Je moet nog dan 3 afstanden. Dus er kan van alles gebeuren. En je wil het zo goed mogelijk doen. Dus dan gaat de knop heel snel over. Sorry.
Succes en gas erop. Succes morgen. Tialf, nog een onwijs applaus voor Femke Kok.
Ik weet niet meer wat ik doe, waar moet dat toch nou naartoe? Soms loop ik maar te dromen, het is een randje toe. Mijn leven was naar de maan, meteen toen ik jou zag staan. Wat mij is overkomen, kan ik niet langer aan. Als de baan verdwijnt en de zon weer schijnt.
Flower ceremony, ISU European Speed Skating Championship Sprint, first 1,000 meter women. In third place with a time of 1:15.40, representing the Netherlands, Susanne Schulting. And the flowers will be presented by Mr. Herman de Haan, the president of the Dutch National Skating Union. And in second place with a time of 1:14.97, representing the Netherlands, Femke Kok. And in first place and winner of this first 1,000 meters with a time of 1:14.21, representing the Netherlands, Miss 1,000 meters, Jutta Leerdam. And give them one more big applause to our top three of this first 1,000 meters women. In third place, Susanne Schulting. Second, Femke Kok. And winner, Jutta Leerdam.
Kunnen. Dus ik probeer dat wel nog even daaruit te persen morgen.
En je zegt dat moet kunnen, maar laat je dat dan in trainingen zien? Is je voorbereiding zo dat je denkt, oh, dat moet gewoon, dat kan, dat zit in mij?
Ja, ik voel gewoon dat het kan, dus ik vind het zonde om het niet te laten zien.
En hoe ga je nu naar morgen toe?
Eerst 500, die kan ook nog een stuk beter, dus daar gaan we voor.
Oké, Tian, we hebben het al heel veel lawaai gemaakt. Op naar morgen, nog meer lawaai en heel graag applaus voor Jutta Leerdam.
Fantastisch mooi, die inside. Letterlijk van binnen het ijs. Mooi die inside. Prachtig mooi om te horen natuurlijk. Ja, we gaan terug naar het ijs. We gaan terug naar het spektakel. Er moet nog meer gereden worden, maar we hebben straks ook veel meer lollige dingen te doen. We gaan terug naar onze wedstrijdsprekers. Maar we hebben even ook gekeken, dames en heren. Ze zitten daar de hele dag. Alles georganiseerd en we weten alles over schaatsen. Jan, Justus en Geert.
Dankjewel voor de dankjewel Roger. Dat betekent ook dat we natuurlijk ons gaan klaarmaken. We zijn iets meer dan 3 minuten verwijderd van de start van de mannen 1000 meter. A little bit more than 3 minutes the start of the conclusive distance of today, the 1000 meter men. Let's take a look at our screens. The first 1000 meter men sprint. Let's take a look at the track record and the championship record. Here it is, Pavel Koryshnikov, 1:07.09 is the track record holder. Thomas Kroll is retired as a skater and is a flying pilot right now with his 1:07.49, still holder of the championships record. In turning to the previous edition, Hein Otterspeer, the 4-time national Dutch sprint champion, was a winner of his first 1,000 meters over Marijn Schepenkamp and Martin Lief. Naast mij natuurlijk Geert Kuiper. Geert Kuiper right beside me is de 1986 national sprint champion. Natuurlijk gaan we even kijken naar die 1000 meter Geert. 2,5 ronde bijrijden.
Ja, de snelheid moet je combineren met inderdaad uithoudingsvermogen. Het is eigenlijk niet mogelijk om te verdelen, maar je moet gewoon zo hard mogelijk en dan die laatste bocht gaan we straks ook zien. En dan gaan we ook het verschil zien tussen de echte sprinters en de mannen die meer zijn van de
starten. Dat is een voordeel, maar dat hoeft niet.
Bij de mannen niet, bij de vrouwen is het echt een heel groot voordeel om de binnenbocht te starten, want dan finish je ook binnen. Bij de mannen is het zo dat in de eerste ronde de allerhoogste snelheid zit hem in de tweede bocht, dus na de doorkomstige bocht, dat is dus de Irene bocht in dit geval. Daar wordt de hoogste snelheid gehaald en daar zullen we ook zien dat er een aantal rijders in problemen komen met die binnenbocht, want die gaat een hoge snelheid en soms is dat een nadeel.
Men's 1,000 meters number 1 coming up in just a few moments. There are the standings after just the first 500 meters, just their 500 meter times essentially to determine their points. The lower your points, the better you're doing. Now, big shifts potentially coming. At 1,000 meters, don't think there have been any withdrawals. And the whistle blows. We're going to be getting back underway relatively shortly. And you saw who is there on the graphic. It'll be Ignaz Gschwendtner of Austria against Pole Myron Christensen of Norway. So, are they both out on the ice? Shot at the elevator there. All right. Don't know why I found that funny. Schwentner against Paul Myron
Go to the
Christensen.
start. Ready.
Schwentner. Not sure if that picture is up to date. He was sporting the blonde locks at the World Cup event in Beijing not too long ago. The man from Innsbruck, absolutely beautiful part of the world in Austria and the Tyrol region, which also encompasses some of Italy. He's faster of the two through the first 200 meters. This is just such a long, long sprint that these stories take a little bit to fully tell. There is Christensen. 24 years old, turns 25 next month, from Arendal, which is about 250 kilometers south of Oslo. He's actually a skater who has one of the athletes who has type 1 diabetes. It's something that's usually diagnosed in childhood, but a lot of skaters coming out there with ways to compete at the top level. But it is Christensen leading right now. A lot of his international success has come via the team sprint. Christensen trying to set the time to beat overall, and he does 1:11.17. Schwentner, I think he took a tumble there afterwards. He did clock a 1:12.80. Oh, now he has no hair at all. His smile on the face. I was talking about the blonde hair at the beginning, and now it's just gone. Nice to see the smile. We joke because they're okay. And let's see what happened there. And whoops. I think he put his head down there. Maybe a little out of embarrassment, but nice to see him smiling it off. And of course, perhaps the best fans in the world in speed skating at Heerenveen appreciate the show.
Go to the start.
Second heat. Francesco Betti of Italy. Robert Beelen of Belgium.
Ready.
So after the 500 meters number 1, Betti was 20th, Beelen was 18th. And so they were about half a second's difference between the two. Betti I mentioned in the first race that he has done some 5,000 meters internationally, so that would lend you to believe that he has got a fair amount of distance, and so that 500 meters, maybe not a taste of what he has, and this is more into his element. We'll see how Balin can keep up with him. At the bell, it is Balin in front. 900ths of a second separate these two men. Second and third right now. Lap time just about 26 seconds even. But if Betty can get up there, it'll catch a bit of that draft as he tucks into the inner lane. They're keeping the strides long. And now here comes Betty up the inside, really in pole position now to take the pair. Where will he finish? He drops the arms, he drives to the line. Betty goes fastest. 1:10.84 by just over 0.3 of a second. So first and third in the 1,000, and second and third in the overall sprint standings. So a good race from Francesco Betti. He goes to the oval. Sister Chiara. See her next month in the Netherlands in the short track realm. Those of you who are watching, the Short Track World Tour resumes next month with the final 2 stops. First in Tilburg in the Netherlands, and then the Olympic test event and final event of the season in Milan. Third pair, men's 1,000 meters. David Bosa, an Italian veteran, against Henrik Fagerli Ruka of Norway.
Ready.
Henrik, the younger of the Ruka brothers. Christopher is about 8 years older. Don't see him around much these days, but Henrik is out there right now leading through 200 meters, but Bosa has international hardware in the 1,000 meters, and so we'll wait to see if he's got that shift in him today. We did know that these times are compared to some of the earlier ones, and a time like Betty, he really skated into the race. At the bell, it is still Ruka in front, over a second to the good for both of these men. Almost identical lap times by 0.06 of a second. But what does Ruka have left in the tank? He'll have to go to the outside lane. His speed is coming down. Bosa's staying pretty consistent. It's Bosa to the advantage right now. He stays up. And Bosa, how much time did that cost him? Doesn't matter for him. They go 1-2 in the distance and in the overall. 109.39 for David Bosa. Henrik Ruka 109.88. And so, new leaders atop the leaderboard. I wonder what might Bosa have done had he not taken that little slip around the corner right there. A speed wobble, perhaps. But you just want to carry that speed out of the corner. And yeah, he knows that you can carry a lot of speed into that final straightaway, but it cost him a couple tenths of a second. And how important might that be? Pair number 4, Jonas Valga.
To the start.
There he is of Estonia. And Tuukka Suomalainen of Finland.
Ready.
Valga, in 24, back in September, skates out of Tallinn. The Tallinn Speed Skating Club. A lot of skaters like you see. Martin Leave coming down to skate in Heerenveen. It's Suomalainen, the faster opening. We're talking about Valga out of Tallinn. A lovely capital, right on the Baltic Sea. Kind of funny to see a Finnish skater and an Estonian skater going head-to-head. Very close ties between the two countries. A lot of ferries coming over from Helsinki into Tallinn, if you're ever traveling in that part of the world. But it's still Suomalainen in front, but they've lost quite a bit of time. No longer in the green. Suomalainen with a 42.73. He's about 0.7 of a second down. And Valga even further behind. It will be Suomalainen coming around. He was in 16th after the first 500 meters. He drops to the 5th fastest time, 1:11.38. Valga 1:13.01. And so for them, 5th in the distance at the moment, and Valga 8th. Now we might see some major shifts coming atop the leaderboard. Next pair is Piotr Michalski of Poland and Matthias Voste of Belgium.
Go to the start. Ready.
I'll stay out of Bruges. Turns 31 this year. Now living in the Netherlands, however, is Voste. Through 200 meters, it's Michalski. Both of them faster than our leader. Not the fastest opener for Voste, though. He's in the green, so he's faster than our leader, but not the fastest opening time. If that makes sense. Fourth fastest opening 200 meters. Voste up the inside now. The former short tracker trying to close it up. Both of them remain in the green. Now they are 1 and 2. Look at that. The difference in the lap time, 0.05 of a second. They're now 0.3 of a second apart. As Michalski left enough in the tank, he does have the advantage of that inner lane, and he does ease right on by. It's looking like it is going to be Michalski taking the pair. He was 4th after the 500 meters, and he goes fastest now, and they both go 1 and 2. 1:08.61 for Michalski. Voste, the faster lap, was able to close it up. But they are now 1 and 2. Already into the 6th of 10 pairs this day. Zipping by quite nicely. Tomorrow, though, have your meals ready, because we have both the sprints and the all-rounds. So it's going to be a long day at Tialf.
Go to the start.
And we have it Michalski, or it's Marek Kania, rather, and Hendrik Dombeck of Germany.
Ready.
Kania, 25, from Warsaw. Part of the victorious Polish European Single Distance Championship side from a year ago in the team sprint. He did get a medal as well from the single distances, a bronze in the 500 meters. 1/100th of a second separating them through the first 200 meters. So Dombeck, has that top end 500 meter speed. He picked up a 500 meter silver in Quebec City at the World Cup there near the end of last season. It's still Dombeck in front, or Kaniak rather, in front. Dombeck just a little bit off the pace. 24.83 the lap time for Kaniak. Doesn't have a lot of time to work with, but he's getting a thumbs up. I think that might be the universal sign of good so far. Don't stop. What is left in the tank for Marit Kania? It looking like Dombeck has really grabbed control of this race. It's going to be Hendrik Dombeck going green at the end. 108.22. He likes that one. That goes into second overall in the sprint classification. So a good back lap by the German Hendrik Dombeck. Not far off his personal best of 107.63. Seventh pair. Bjorn Magnusson and Neil Yop and Spain.
Go to the start. Ready.
So just 22, Neil Yop still has a lot of career left in front of him. We've seen him in A group, we've seen him in B group on World Cup circuit. He still is of the age where he's done some Neo Seniors events as well, so he picked up double gold in the 500 and the 1,000 meters at the Neo Seniors event in Poland, in Tomaszów Mazowiecki. It'll be interesting to see how that career goes out. Always nice to see the variety of nations taking part in speed skating. Magnusson leading through 600 meters, but not by much, 41.76. Adding a few hundredths of a second to his time. Magnusson was 5th after the 500 meters. Yop was down in 13th. Magnusson onto the inner lane now. It will be Bjorn Magnusson. He was 5th after race number 1, trying to stay up here at the end, but it's Yop coming up at the last little gasp there and taking it by 400ths of a second. So never say die from that young man. Just getting over the line in the last little bit. I think it's okay. Not bad, but okay. Magnusson sitting in 4th right now. There, that little stumble cost him taking the pair. And Yop sitting in 7th overall right now. Three pairs still to go. Moritz Klein of Germany, who was 15th after the 500 meters. And Martin Leave, 6th after the first race.
Go to the start. Ready.
Leave was mentioned as someone who could be a threat to the overall standings at these European Sprint Speed Skating Championships. Maybe not the 500 that he was hoping. We'll see how he can come back. And he is in the green right now by 0.13 of a second. Leave is from a small city of about 5,000 people southwest of the capital of Tallinn. Lovely Baltic nation. Now living in Heerenveen, so in very comfortable confines is Martin Lieve, maintaining about 0.2 of a second advantage. Klein back in 11th, about a second off the pace. Big difference of about 0.7 of a second in their lap times there. What does Lieve have left? How is he pacing himself? He's holding the speed of just under 53 kilometers an hour. That's close to how we've seen some of the faster ones. Lieve to the line and will go 1:08.46, and he will slip to second. 27:10 the lap time, and so he sits third in the overall now after pair 8 of 10. So through 600 meters, he was right there, but just lost it a little bit down the last 400. Some of these crossovers have been very, very close. Klein with the 10th fastest 1,000-meter time, a 1:10.15. So now come the heaviest of heavy hitters, at least after the 5,000. Damian Zurek, Poland on the inner, sitting in third. And on the outer, hometown boy from Tialf. That smile. No way you can resist that kind of ovation for Marijn Seperkamp.
Ready.
And the fans will be like wings under the feet of Seperkamp. Every single stride getting cheered as he goes around. Both of them in the green through 200 meters. It's Seperkamp in front by, let's say, 0.07 of a second. Zurich, he was 7th in the 1,000 meters at the World Single Distances in Calgary at the end of last season. So maybe the 500 meters might be his preferred event, but he is equally skilled. It's still Seperkamp in front. That echo chamber carrying him all the way around the ice. That one will be a clean crossover, no problem. Seperkamp losing a bit of speed. He's just over 53 kilometers an hour. He has to carry that speed around the corner. Zurek is coming. Seperkamp still in front. Zurek not going to do it. It's going to be Seperkamp by 0.03 of a second. Going fastest, 1:08.19. Zurek did close it up. 1:08.32, third fastest, but they go 1 and 2 in the overall sprint standings with but one pair to go. What an ovation. Yenning de Beau on the inner lane. And not to be outdone, Tim Prince. A look of stone from that man.
Go to the start. Ready.
The European Championships a year ago, Prinz did pick up a bronze medal in the 1,000 meters. Of course, last year it was a single distances format. This is the sprint tournament all around, still to come the rest of the weekend. Almost identical opening 200 meters. Prinz is from a little city called Jura, a little bit northeast of Amsterdam. trying to keep pace right now with the leader. Yenning de Beau was in the lead after race number 1. If anyone is faster in the 1,000 meters, it's Prins who has the better personal best. Now we start to see that comparison. Bottom right on your screen, that is compared to Saperkamp's overall time. Yenning de Beau still in the lead. Not too far behind is Tim Prince. He's going to get a good draft down that back stretch. They are just about stride for stride to the line. It is Yenning de Beau leading the way, and he will go fastest by 9/10 of a second. 1:07.29. Oh my. 1:07.89 for Tim Prince. He's also loving that. Soaking it in. Yenning de Beau, 0.2 of a second off the track record. Still held by Pavel Kulishnikov. That is what it's all about. But Yenning de Beau just throwing down and confirming his status as perhaps the favorite to win this event. Yenning de Beau does the double on day number 1. And so, his advantage heading into day number 2 is 0.58 of a second. So, almost 0.6 of a second banked away is Yenning de Beau ahead of his teammate, Marijn Saperkamp. Damian Zurek in 3rd. And Tim Prinz with a nice jump up. The second fastest 1,000 meter time. He is sitting in 4th right now. Years old. He's still 19, pardon me, is Yenning de Beau. No, he is. He is 20. He turns 21 on January 22nd. So Yenning de Beau, a whole lot of runway still ahead of him. Dutch sprinter of tomorrow and today. There is the 1,000 meter. He won by 0.6 of a second over Tim Prinz. Right, Saperkamp in 3rd. So the Dutch sweep of 1,000 meters number 1 for men. Dombeck of Germany, Zurek of Poland rounding out the top 5. And so, as I mentioned, 0.58 ahead. After day number 1, Yenning de Beau, a lot of time in his back pocket for tomorrow. That's how much time they have to close up in 500 and 1,000 meters number 2 if they want to overhaul Yenning de Beau. Good luck to them is all I have to say. So, as we saw before, the flower ceremonies, and then I'll just come back quickly for a quick sign-off.
is wel
Mag je niet veel verklappen, maar dat mag je niet missen. Koop je tickets, koop je tickets, koop je tickets, wees erbij.
Dat zei je nog.
Schudden met die winnen, schudden met die handen!
Als u het nieuwjaarsconcert niet heeft gezien, dames en heren, zal het heel belangrijk zodra dat het een beetje muzikaal ritme erin komt, moet u even met de handen meeklappen. Net als in Wenen. Let op, komt-ie. Handen vrij, komt-ie! En de klap, en de klap, en de klap, 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 en de klap, en de klap. Ja, mooi, hè? Met dit weer zit ik een beetje met mijn hoofd in de zon, want het is veel te koud. En lekker een beetje meezingen, dan komt ie. Goed, dames en heren, we hebben straks iets gedaan met de lampjes. Dat was natuurlijk allemaal in het kader van de Daikin 12 game. En het mooie is, jullie komen daarmee naar je browser toe voor prachtige prijzen. Waaronder tickets voor Daikin NK afstanden in februari. En natuurlijk prachtige mooie prijzen, gesigneerde items van onder andere Kjell Nuis en van Antoinette Rijkmaniel. Scan de QR-code nou die je ziet op het grote scherm. Want nog niet alle prijzen zijn opgehaald. Dus ik zou zeggen, scan de QR-code, doe mee met de dwelgame en win waanzinnige prijzen natuurlijk van het fundament van het team NL Schaatsen. Daikin, dankjewel! Nou, dames en heren. Volgens mij gaan we eraan beginnen en is het tijd voor de huldigingen. Sowieso alvast bedankt dat je hierbij bent gebleven.
Flower ceremony, ISU European Speed Skating Championship Sprint, first 500 meters men. In third place, with a time of 34.66, representing Poland, Damian Zurek. Flower flowers will be presented by Mr. Herman de Haan, the president of the Dutch National Skating Union. In second place with a time of 34.60, representing the Netherlands, Marijn Scheperkamp. And in first place, and winner in a new championship record of 34.47, representing the Netherlands, Jenning de Bo. And give them one more big applause. Our top three of this first 500 meters. In third place, Damian Zurek. Second, Marijn Scheperkamp. And winner, Jenning de Bo.
Goed herstellen en dan ook nog even naar deze 1000 meter.
Morgen nog een stuk halen en dan gaan we naar de ongelooflijk van deze 1000 meter. Maar die al even onderuit gaan laten hoor. Die gaat niet in de leugen af.
Flower ceremony, ISU European Speed Skating Championship Sprint, first 1000 meters men. In third place, with a time of 1:08.19, representing the Netherlands, Marijn Scheperkamp. And again, the flowers will be presented by Mr. Herman de Haan, the president of the Dutch National Skating Union. In second place, with a time of 1:07.89, representing the Netherlands, Tim Prins. And then in first place and winner again in a new championship record of 1:07.29, representing the Netherlands, the elf, Jenning de Bo. And give them one more big applause, our top three of this first 1,000 meters men. In third place, Marijn Schepenkamp. Second, Tim Prins. And the winner, boom boom, Jenning de Bo.
Just grooving as the queen, as they turned on the queen there inside Tialf. Jenning de Bo, record-setting day for the European Championships, and on home ice, Dutch skaters currently in 5 of 6 sprint medal winning positions. They will wrap things up tomorrow. It is part of a marathon day of speed skating. As I just mentioned, they wrap up the sprint championships, and also the European all-rounds get underway. They get started with the 500 meters as well, and then they do some of their longer distances. So wherever you might be around the world, we are just getting started. From Heerenveen, we'll wrap things up for now. See you tomorrow for what is going to be a long but enjoyable day. On behalf of everybody who's put this production together, my name is Gavin Day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Baby, give me everything, everything. You are all I need. Baby, give me everything. Love of my life.